using data to help make roads a little bit safer whilst humans are still behind the wheel. And they're doing that by using sensors to track dangerous hotspots. This is a proportional integral derivative controller, PID for short. They're more commonly known as black boxes and are being used today for something other than insurance purposes. Yay! Ford are working with Vivacity Labs, using these PIDs in their cars to monitor my driving in order to assess an area's road safety. My speed, acceleration, rate and harshness of braking, steering, all of these are being measured to see how I react along a route and predict any near misses that I have with other vehicles or people. And when enough cars behave erratically in an area, sensors are placed on lampposts to gather more data. Which we'll see later. But as a driver right now, I had a bit of a problem with the black box existing. If I want to misbehave slightly or go a little bit faster, I'm just going to be constantly wondering, what is it picking up? Is this going to, bite me in the butt later? I'm not giving them a true reflection of myself as I'm driving. So is that the data they want? Right, we've reached Vivacity's HQ, where the data is being processed. Now, remember those sensors we passed along the way? Here's a visualization of what the company sees. It's all blurred and anonymized, so no one is identified. But these lines represent the cyclists, pedestrians, and cars in a spot. And you can see how they get into some potentially harmful situations as they cross each other, or as an area gets busier. So they'll take this data and they'll present it to the local council to act on it.
If you sent somebody out to watch what was happening, even for 5 or 6 hours, which would be quite an expensive thing to do, they won't necessarily see the root cause. At this particular scenario, there's 1.5 minutes worth of clips from that 1.5 hour that we've condensed this down to. Actually, that person's time, rather than spending an hour and a half at the roadside, if they watched an hour and a half of condensed clips from a sensor, they'll get a much better understanding of what is the problem at this particular location.
Peter also told me that councils will probably take a while to know how to process this data and execute plans based on it. But it's not the only stumbling block.
Yeah, I think on the project that we've been collaborating with Ford, we actually found it quite difficult to get people to agree to put a PID in their car, even if we paid them. So get people to agree to put a PID in their car, even if we paid them. So if we turned around and offered somebody money, they were still going, oh no, I don't want that.
As I mentioned before, I was so aware of being tracked, my driving being measured, so it doesn't surprise me that they struggled to get volunteers, managing only 200 in the whole country. But with more modern cars having modems anyway to connect to the internet, is being tracked actually something I had to be worried about?
The actual act of putting the PID in is obviously not the end solution, that's just for this research project. And all our analysis isn't really looking at the individual, it's looking at the aggregated level data.
So then any other data that it picks up isn't really anything that can be used against the driver, is that right?
Oh, no, we don't intend to do that. We clearly spelled out in the consent that it's all about this road safety project, trying to find that win-win situation where the city gets something, the consumer gets something, and Ford gets something.
So whether it's the public or councils getting used to the idea, it'll probably take some time before this data starts to make a big difference. But until then, getting more connected seems like a good way of driving forward. So then any other data that it picks up isn't really anything that can be used against the driver, is that right?
Oh, no, we don't intend to do that. We clearly spelled out in the consent that it's all about this road safety project, trying to
Thanks.